Welcome back to the channel. We're currently driving to the Badlands Off Road Park in Attica, Indiana. We just mounted up a set of Falken Wildpeak MTs, 35 by 12.5 by 17. Thank you to Tires Easy for helping us out with those. We are going to be doing an initial review video as we test them on and off road for the first time for about 500 miles. Stick around. All right, so we're about 20 miles out from the off-road park. This is a good time to talk about initial impressions on road feel. There's no question, MT tires, they're always gonna be louder. So I'm gonna be quiet for a second. We're doing about 70, 75 miles an hour adjusted, and there is a slight hum, which will likely get worse over time, but let's just be quiet for a second so you guys can hear what these tires sound like. If the microphone is picking it up, it's really not that bad. I actually don't mind a little bit of tire hum, and I definitely don't mind the look of an aggressive tread pattern. So first impressions in terms of the feel of the tires, they are an E-load tire, and the compound is a bit softer, so it rides really, really nice. I'm very, very happy with the on-road feel, the road noise, everything like that. Like I said, likely that they're gonna get a little bit louder as they wear, but so far, so good. All right, so we just landed here. As you guys saw, we just pulled in, we got registered. We are at the Badlands Off Road Park in Attica, Indiana. We're gonna get aired down, we're gonna hit the trails. If you've never been here or you're from the area, you're thinking about checking it out, it's a great little park. It's got some sand dunes, rocks, quarries, places to take your ATVs, side-by-sides, your motos, everything like that. Let's get these tires aired down and let's get out on the trail. We've got our handy Morphlate here, four-way inflation, deflation. All right, so we got our Morphlate hooked up. Simple as hooking up all four tires and opening up that gauge. Okay, so we just got done at the off-road park. We're now at the power wash bay. We're gonna clean everything up because there was a ton of mud. Long story short, we're gonna give you guys a little bit more of a detailed feedback on how we felt about the tires. But between water, sand, mud, rocks, I was super impressed. This is probably one of the most aggressive tires that I've ever run. Let's clean the truck up and then we'll give you guys some more commentary. Now that we're done at the car wash, let's take a closer look at a few of the features and performance elements for this tire. So first and foremost, let's talk about the design. I think we already mentioned, but this is a very soft compound, which is a good thing for mud terrain tires, and also allows it to have a really tall tread. If you kind of look right here, that, I don't have an official measurement, but that is a valley in there. So we really like the super knobby design. There's a good amount of siping within the individual tread blocks, so wet performance should be pretty good. Haven't tested them out yet in the rain, but we will soon. And then if we look over here at the sidewall, you can see that it's got this knobby architecture that's gonna make sure that when we're aired down, we're gonna be gripping the rocks and everything really well. Now, I might have touched on some of this stuff before, so bear with me. This is a 2017 third gen Toyota Tacoma. They aren't the most friendly for larger tires, but we do have a 35 by 12.5 by 17 on here. And again, we got that mounted on a -25 from Relations Race Wheels, an RR7-H hybrid. This wheel can be run as a beadlock or not, but more importantly, in terms of, again, the sizing, we're running a true 35. I believe these run about 34.8, 34.6, don't quote me, but very happy with the tire size. Back to road manners, I really like how these perform and behave on the road. Again, not too quiet, but if you want a quiet tire, don't get an MT, right? And expect that, again, as they start to wear, they're going to get a little bit louder. It's going to be super important to make sure that your alignment is dialed in and that you're rotating your tires at the appropriate interval. But running these in an E load, so they're stiff, but to me not too stiff. I prefer D and E loads. My last set was an F. This one is way more comfortable. My only complaint, I would say, with these tires is the weight, right? From a weight perspective, they are much heavier than some of the other options on the market. Maybe I shouldn't say much because I don't know exactly what the reference point is here, but they are heavier, and that extra unsprung mass, even though I have the Power Brake big brake kit, I can feel that it takes a little bit more effort from the brakes to slow the truck down. So let's move on to the most important part. Of course, you guys want to know how this tire performs off-road. So when we were at the Badlands Park just now, we saw a few major categories. We saw wet conditions, we saw dry conditions, we saw sand, rock, and mud. Between all of those, mud, I'll say they do really well. We didn't go through the deepest mud holes because who wants to cake their entire truck in mud? It's not what we do with these trucks. We do a little bit more overlanding and rock crawling, but in muddy conditions, I didn't feel a single time like I was gonna get bogged down in any of the deeper mud holes we tried to go through. In terms of rock, I'll say, and I've run ATs, RTs, MTs, the knobbiness and the tread and the compound on these grips like no other. It was the first time, and maybe it's not as apparent on camera, but it was the first time that I've gone through rocky conditions and known that the tires weren't going to be the limiting factor. Besides that, we saw a little bit of sand. They perform as you would expect in a condition like that. And again, overall, whether it was wet, dry, rocks, or mud, I'm really happy. I know this is only about 300-400 miles with probably about 20-30 off-road, but I'm excited to see what the Falken MT holds for my future. Given everything that I've experienced with this tire and a plethora of others before this one, I would say if you're looking for a premium tire, something that's going to last, something that's from a reputable brand like Falken, I would absolutely recommend these tires. I don't really have anything bad to say about them. They are a little bit heavy. That's probably the only thing that would make me think about these tires twice, and not in a negative way, just because it's something to consider. Obviously, with a heavier tire, the MPG potentially takes a little bit bigger of a hit, but when you're doing stuff to a truck like this, are you really concerned about MPG? Sure, to some extent, but I don't anticipate that we took more than a 0.5 MPG hit, and this truck does surprisingly well, especially when it's on the highway. That's gonna be it for today. Thank you again for sticking around. Thank you for following along. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, follow. This has been the Falken MT tire review and overview. If I missed anything, I'm sorry. We're shooting this stuff on the fly. I think that's it. We'll see you next time. All right, wait. Don't go yet. One final last thing. From June 1st to June 30th, Tires Easy is running an exclusive deal for Falken tires. $100 off select Wildpeak tires going on right now. It's a pretty good deal if you're already in the market for tires. It's peak wheeling season. Everybody's about to get out there. Save yourself $100 on 4 tires. See you next time.